Traditionally, the wife was always seen as a sexual custodian. She was the caretaker of the sexual vibrancy within a marriage. The idea was that was part of her job description, as it were, to provide sex for her husband and also to provide children and be a mother to those children. That was a fairly clear-cut definition.
Men were supposed to have greater needs than women, so women accepted that husbands could not be faithful because they had greater needs. But that's changed. There was a double standard, a huge difference.
Historically, infidelity and the double standard and so on were always writ large in marriage. And today it's compounded by the fact that we live so long. The lifelong monogamous marriage and until death do us part, I will be faithful, etc., is one that is basically a historical remnant. It's an ideal. That's all that it is. Since the sexual revolution, I would say, we have changed the whole notion of sexual pleasure. Sexual satisfaction now permeates our view of what you should get out of marriage.
It is especially important for this generation, that is the post-divorce generation, that is the post-feminist generation, to reconceptualize what marriage is, because the role models that from the previous generation don't apply.
We may go back to having a form of marriage as they do in some societies that has a specific term on it. We may marry not for life, but for 10 years. Maybe very contractual. I mean, there are all sorts of possibilities.
I don't think that we should hold up marriages any better than other relationships, but I do think that we should maintain marriage as what it is, which is a lifelong commitment.
The bad times, you live through them, but if you're not prepared to sacrifice, you get out of the marriage and then you start another one maybe, but I don't know if it's better in the long run. It's a partnership. And it works as long as both people enjoy the relationship. I don't think people feel the obligation to stay together.
The divorce rate in America hovers above 50%, and I doubt that it will change in the near future, because as much as marriage is coveted and longed for, so is happiness within a marriage.
The divorce rate doesn't in any way represent a failure of marriage, but it represents, I would say, an elevation of marriage and what we expect of it. If everyone who doesn't get divorced is happy, then marriage is now the happiest it's ever been in the whole history of the world. The easier divorce is, I would say, the more that shows how much happy marriage there is, because not everyone gets divorced.
I see the future as bright as I make it, I guess. And if I do have somebody else in my life, then I'll know what I want by that point, and I'll have grown up a little bit, you know.
I don't regret having been married for 6 years at all. I can see other options that I would have done, but looking back, I've had a good life.
I do see our marriage as being until death do us part, and that doesn't scare me at all. The only thing, frankly, that scares me is that one of us might die before, I feel we've fully been able to live together and be married together. I think a wife is what you want it to be. The core of a marriage is two people together, and how you define wife in terms of your personal relationship is secondary. The marriage is what's important.
All's in my heart.